Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your versatile Voice of Doom. Alright, changed up my look a bit for this episode. It might be two episodes because I left out some stuff about 2021 that should have been talked about. So I wanted to get into the subplot that was going on through 2020 that I kind of dropped out of the picture a bit, but was always there, and explain that more in detail. So it's probably going to be two episodes because it's very complicated. I told you in an episode around Mysteries and Mayhem or somewhere back in there, back in 2020, that I was going to start doing something about this transgender thing to see which way it's going to go because I wasn't really happy the way I was. Oh, I forgot. Got to show you myself because when I do this, got to model a bit. Be a bit vain. But, you know, kind of. I like color. I like color, and even dressing up like this tonight for this episode was kind of mundane and boring, which is kind of part of the whole thing because I really could reflect on myself. I didn't have to worry about, the family dynamics or pleasing someone else or wasting money or resources on my indulgences. And then it's like, well, okay, let's go one way or the other, or if I want to be perceived or project an image of like feminine, then go out, like that, do it more, tell people, and I've told people, and they're okay with it, and it's like, just go out like this, why not? And back in those days, in around August, September, I started taking hormones, which was a patch, very low dosage, and some spirulactone, which is a testosterone blocker, which is very easy to get. All you have to do is call Planned Parenthood, and they're very open-minded about letting you kind of do what you want. Give you a cursory examination over the phone, so it's kind of like it's not a real examination, but they just want to make sure you're not I don't know what, but it was easy to start. And I went on them for about a month or two. And after a month, nothing was happening to my body. And my brain was changing very quickly, very quickly. Like, suddenly I'm like, I have no desire, I have no libido, I have no interest. And the weird thing about, like being transgendered is sometimes it's like a fetishist thing, because if you can't do it very often and it's kind of in secret, then you kind of associate some sexualness with doing it. So it's all exciting when you finally get to do what you want to do. Sexually exciting. And then I start thinking about authenticity, and now the liberals are so into authenticity, and then they become anathema to their very core, their very philosophy, because it's like, you're not an authentic black person because you're a conservative. You're not an authentic Hispanic because, you're not Democrat. You're not a rebel that wants Democrat handouts. You're not an authentic transgender because you think you want to be a woman, but really, do you really want to be one, or what? Because once you start taking the hormones, it's like I have no sexual feeling anymore. It's not exciting to get dressed up. And yet I am dressing up because it's more comfortable. Not with wigs and stuff because they're scratchy and makeup is a pain in the butt. I mean, I did this in like less than 2 minutes because I don't want to go to all the hassle anymore. You know, people that cake on makeup when they're in their 60s, it's unless you really do a good job, and that takes hours, and it takes hours for women to do it after they've practiced all their life. It still takes some hours because I've done it with them, and I've been with them when they're putting on their makeup, and it takes an hour. I don't know, I look all right. But the point is when I got the windfall, first of all, I stopped the hormones after September or October because she was too much to handle. We were in the middle of kind of a semi-lockdown. I couldn't get a hold of anybody, so I just let it go because I was too busy with other things. And even the money just to buy the prescriptions, which isn't that much, would be a burden. And I was getting the hair removal, and that was kind of starting to be like I can't do it. So I stopped for like 5 months until she died, and then in January I called them and I said, or February, I said, you know, I haven't been taking this for like 5 months because she died, and I couldn't get a hold of you guys, and they felt sorry for me and got me up on them again, much stronger and more dosages. And I said, I'm going to give it a year and then see what happens. But then I'm thinking, I'm just starting it up again, and I still have that excitement back. My old excitement is back. And I'm getting all excited that I have freedom and I can actually do what I want. I can think, you know, I can experience everything in life all over again as a different person. And it'll be exciting. I could go to a park, or I could just walk through a mall and be a different person, and it'll be like doing everything, just like John Lennon said, like starting over, because you're doing everything from a different perspective. And I was really excited about it, and I was really thinking, now I'm quitting my job, I'll have all the freedom in the world to go where I want and be who I want. And I had to deal with the kids, because even though they see me running around in t-shirts, soft tees, and palazzo pants, they're used to that, and I already told them how I was long ago, but I still didn't flaunt it. And I'm like, I can't just hide and be in my room dressing up. I'm going to be myself now that she's gone. They're grown up, and that's just the way it is, and if I don't do it, then I'm going to go nuts. So I told them, and they were all nonchalant about it, like, who cares, you know. So I started wearing wigs out, you know, when I'm out doing housework or out in the living room or playing piano, wearing dresses or skirts, not all done up, but, you know, like this. And they're not really thinking anything of it. So I'm thinking everything's great. I'm going to start, you know, going out more and being with people, and they can get used to the fact that I can look this way, and I'm not necessarily one way or the other, or what, authentic. Because there is no authentic. You know, you have to be an authentic black and think the way we do, otherwise you're not. You know, that's BS. Authentic transgender. Caitlin's not authentic because she's a conservative, which is wrong. And it goes against everything that a transgender person should believe in if they had common sense and they thought about things objectively and fairly. Yes, I want people to perceive me as this, even though I'm not, and don't say you are, because you can't change the inner organs of a male into a womb. That's way down the line. And by the time they can do that, I'm sure they'll have other more efficient solutions to that dilemma. The point is, I didn't know if I was authentic, or, you know, I'm not. I take the chemicals and I lose my excitement. I lose my interest. I don't care. I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to have a wig. I'd rather just kind of make myself into kind of a gender fluid person who doesn't care and will do whatever he wants. And, you know, my hair's long. I did my eyebrows I did my face. I've taken the hormones and I'm starting to change my body, but now I'm thinking, to what end? So I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do and give it a year just to see, because I like to experiment with life. I don't like to just stick myself into a cubbyhole and a pigeonhole. I want to see what this is all about because it's tormented me since I was 5, and I want to think I'm most comfortable. And I'm thinking that I'm most comfortable just being who I am on diatribes. And if I want to have makeup on, I'll have makeup on. And if I want a skirt, I'll have a skirt. But not getting all militant about it and all like, you treat me this way. Just be natural and just enjoy and like who you are. I like myself more, seeing myself, like I said, it's digital masturbation. And that's all I got right now because I got the hormones going on and I don't feel anything. No sexual nothing. And that means that getting this dressed up like this doesn't do anything titillating for me either. But I like the way I look. I mean, I like it. It's very confusing. But I should have put that into 2021 because the feeling I had of euphoria that I could actually do this, I had the freedom to actually go out, dress up the way I want, and go out and do whatever I want. And then suddenly I'm taking the hormones, and it's like that doesn't excite me that much. So it's a catch-22. And I don't know, these women, TG, male to females, they turn into real women. I mean, from all outside appearances, and they must be different from me. Or maybe I waited too long, or maybe it was just not the right hormonal, chemical, neurotransmitter balance in my brain, where these might have something to do with sexuality too, because I like women. And if you're gay and you're transgendered, then I think, yeah, be as female as you can. Why not? But I wasn't gay, so that was part of the dilemma. But at the end of the day, and I hate that phrase because it's so damn common, but at the end of the day, I had my cake and ate it too. And I never thought it'd be possible because I was married and I raised 2 kids, and they turned out pretty damn good. And I was still able to experience and delve into the other side, which is a very rare thing to be able to do because a lot of marriages, they don't want to put up with that kind of thing. That's not their idea of a marriage. But I was able to do it, and I'm also proud, and I use proud in the correct sense, that I'm proud of myself that I kept my promise. And that's one thing that I wanted to say about 2021 and the whole meaning of death is I kept my promise, and I'm proud of that because when I say something, if it's a vow in front of people, then I'm going to keep the promise. And I did, so I'm happy about that. I hope it serves me well in the future. But I'm happy about that, and it may not be 2 episodes because I could talk about transgender in sports real quick. They're going to have to reorganize everything in sports if they're going to have male to female competing as females. They're going to have to reorganize everything because if they don't, then they're going to have male to females or female to male transgenders taking testosterone and competing in sports. And then they're going to be like, no, wait a minute, this is a performance-enhancing drug. And it's like, no, it's testosterone. Well, that is a performance-enhancing whatever. And it's going to get all muddled and messy. And you shouldn't have people saying, I'm a woman now, so I'm going to compete as a woman. That's wrong. And I don't even want to delve into the details. It's wrong. And everybody knows it's wrong because they're not females. And yeah, I know it's insulting, but they're not. Have new Olympics, have different categories or do away with competition or meld all the competition together and have no distinction between male and female. All football teams can have whatever they want on them. All baseball teams or whatever. There's no such thing as male basketball or female basketball. They can do it that way. Or they can start whole new categories of, here's an intramural sports league of people that don't want to, identify one way or the other. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess because you're going to have chemicals all over the place, and they don't want chemicals in the Olympics or in the sports. They don't want, horses being shot up with whatever, and they don't want sports people taking steroids and stuff. But what is the difference if females and males taking testosterone? It's still going to be performance enhancing and whatever they categorize themselves at. I'm going to take testosterone but still identify as a female and compete with the females. Same thing. Same problem as the bathrooms. So I don't have to go into another episode. I don't have to get dressed up different for the next one. It's over. I won't talk about transgenderism much more. And it's getting long, but I will say that my main goal was when I realized how depressed I still was after all that money was coming in. I realized I had to master my mind instead of letting my mind master me. It's a Buddhist thing. And I realized that to master my mind and to become truly happy, I kind of had to have pressure. And that's what made me happy. And I had to get back into dealing with people in the world and realize that even if I'm behind in the bills, worrying about it isn't going to make me any less happy. And if I'm productive, I'm not depressed. And if I can keep doing this, I'm not depressed because I think it's productive. I mean, it may be a waste of time, but I think it's productive. So then I feel good, and now I felt good, and now I'm happy. And I've mastered my mind, kind of. I think I've gotten over being depressed, because you can have thousands and millions and be depressed. And that's the tragedy of life, is it doesn't have to be that way. So yeah, it was a little long, but I squeezed in 2 episodes in one, because if I did this longer, it would be stretchy. So yeah, 18 minutes almost, longest one ever, but I said a lot. Have a good night. Thanks.